Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. I hope all of you are well today. Today we are going to discuss the topic of strategic training in your course training and development. In this session, we are going to discuss how training is influenced by the strategic position of an organization. We are also going to discuss how, in this perspective, the role of training is evolving. And we are going to discuss the strategic training and development process in this session. So, the topic of discussion today is how training and development activities are linked with the strategy of an organization. उसके लिए पहले हमें ये देखने की ज़रूरत है कि स्ट्रैटेजी होती क्या है. What is the business strategy of an organization? Business strategy is a plan that integrates the company's goals, policies, and actions. So it is a plan that puts together the purpose of the organization, the reason that organization exists, and the objectives of the organization, what it wants to achieve. That is the business strategy of the organization. You would have read the definition of strategy in strategic management, definitely. So, strategy is something that is adopted to achieve the goals of the organization. जो रास्ता आप इख्तियार करते हैं अपनी टारगेट पे पहुंचने के लिए, वो आपकी बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी है. सो अगर कोई आपने जंग जीतनी है, मैदान जंग में क्या स्ट्रैटेजी है, किस तरह से आपने अपने इन्फेंट्री को, आर्टिलरी को, आर्मर्ड कोर को किस तरह पोजीशन करना है, किसको सामने रखना है, किसको पीछे रखना है, कितना इन्फेंट्री आपने दुश्मन को दिखानी है कि आपके पास है, बेसिकली है आपके पास इतनी, ये सारी जो है ये स्ट्रेटजी है. सो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में आपने किस तरह अपने कंपेटिटर्स के साथ compete करना है, क्या चीजें सामने लेके आनी है, किन चीजों को हिडन रखना है, कौन से ट्रेड सीक्रेट्स जो हैं उनको बिल्कुल नहीं लीक होने देना. जैसे कि दो हमारे बड़े वेल नोन इंटरनेशनल बेवरेजेस के ब्रांड्स हैं जिनका टेस्ट आज तक कोई कॉपी नहीं कर सका. डोमेस्टिक लोकल प्रोड्यूसर्स जितनी मर्जी जोर लगा लें उनकी इमिटेट करने का प्रोडक्ट, लेकिन वो नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि उनका जो ट्रेड सीक्रेट है, जो उनका रेसिपी का सीक्रेट है, वो बहुत ही स्ट्रांगली उसको विल होल्ड किया जाता है, बहुत स्ट्रांगली उसको प्रोटेक्ट किया जाता है. सो बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी जो है वो आपकी वो लाया अमल है जो कि आपने अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल गोल्स को अचीव करने के लिए इस्तेमाल करना है. गोल्स आपके शॉर्ट टर्म गोल्स भी हो सकते हैं और आपके लॉन्ग टर्म गोल्स भी हो सकते हैं. आज से 1 साल बाद आप क्या करना चाहते हैं, क्या अचीव करना चाहते हैं, और आज से 10 साल बाद आप अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को कहाँ देखना चाहते हैं, ये सब प्लान्स आपकी बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी के अंदर डिफाइंड होते हैं. और आप अपनी बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी के थ्रू अपने जो शॉर्ट टर्म गोल्स हैं और जो अपने लॉन्ग टर्म गोल्स हैं उनको अचीव करने की कोशिश करते हैं. आपकी बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी इस बात को इन्फ्लुएंस करती है कि आप अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के रिसोर्सेज को किस तरह से इस्तेमाल करें. एज यू वुड रिमेंबर, व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल रिसोर्सेज यू हैव. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, योर फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्सेज, your physical resources, and your human resources. So the kind of strategy that your organization has, that would determine how much investment you will put into different functions of your organization. तो आप प्रोडक्शन में ज़्यादा स्पेंड करते हैं या आप मार्केटिंग में ज़्यादा स्पेंड करते हैं, आप मार्केटिंग को कितना बजट देते हैं, आप ह्यूमन रिसोर्स को कितना बजट देते हैं, और इसी तरह से आप अपनी ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट को कितना बजट एलोकेट कर सकते हैं, क्या क्या फैसिलिटीज एलोकेट कर सकते हैं. आप एक पर्टिकुलर बिल्डिंग उनको दे सकते हैं, कुछ पैसे उनको दे सकते हैं, और कौन लोग हैं आपके जो जाके ट्रेनिंग करवाएंगे, क्या वो आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के स्टार्स और बेस्ट परफॉर्मर्स हैं, या वो लोग हैं आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के जो कि कहीं फिट नहीं आते, उनको आप ट्रेनिंग करने के लिए भेज दें क्योंकि वो सबसे बेकार लोग हैं, तो आप उनको ट्रेनिंग करने के लिए भिजवा दें. सो आपकी जो स्ट्रैटेजी है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की, वो ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट को या किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के फंक्शन को जितनी ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस देती है, उसी इम्पोर्टेंस के हिसाब से आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के जो रिसोर्सेज हैं, फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्सेज, फिजिकल रिसोर्सेज एंड ह्यूमन रिसोर्स के रिसोर्सेज जो हैं वो आपके एलोकेट किए जाते हैं उस पर्टिकुलर फंक्शन के लिए. सो योर बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी, इट इन्फ्लुएंसेस हाउ योर organizational resources are going to be used. So as I just said, that if there is a preference given to the function of training and development, the function of human resource, then there will be a prominent effect of that on how training and development is conducted in your organization. Training and development को strategically अपने center में रखना, उसके ऊपर focus करना, उसके दो तरह के फायदे हैं. एक तो डायरेक्ट इफेक्ट है और एक इनडायरेक्ट इफेक्ट है. डायरेक्ट इफेक्ट क्या है कि आप अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के मेंबर्स को ट्रेन करें, उनकी स्किल्स इंप्रूव करें, तो उनकी परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव होगी, और परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव होगी तो आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की इफेक्टिवनेस बढ़ेगी. सो दैट इज द डायरेक्ट इफेक्ट, दैट द मोर इन्वेस्टमेंट यू डू, द मोर परफॉर्मेंस you improve of your organizational members, the better they are going to perform in your organization. Secondly is the indirect effect, that when you will invest in your organizational members, when you will help them grow, when they will feel that they are an important part of the organization, जब उन्हें ये लगेगा कि उनके ऊपर खर्च किया जा रहा है, उनके ऊपर इन्वेस्ट किया जा रहा है, उन्हें एक इम्पॉर्टेंट हिस्सा समझा जाता है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का, then their attitudes, not just their performance, their attitudes, for example, organizational commitment, goal commitment, job involvement, engagement, that is going to be affected, that is going to improve. So, जब वो अपने काम के साथ ज़्यादा engaged होंगे, ज़्यादा involved होंगे, अपनी organization के साथ committed होंगे, तो ऐसी सूरत में it is likely that their performance will also improve. So, indirect, through attitudes, when you invest on people, when you give attention to them, तो indirect effect भी उसका जो है वो आपकी organization की performance के ऊपर आएगा. So, training and development is a very important function of the organization, which must be strategically linked with the business strategy and goals of the organization. So, what you want to achieve as an organization on the whole, the training and development function, that should also contribute to that business strategy. इसके लिए मैं आपको एक मशहूर कंप्यूटर इंडस्ट्री से रिलेटेड एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की मिसाल देना चाहूंगी. This organization is probably the oldest organization in the computer industry. इनका ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्ट्रक्चर और ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल कल्चर, क्योंकि ये बहुत पुरानी 1930s 40s में शुरू हुई थी, इसलिए इनका ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल कल्चर बहुत ट्रेडिशनल और बहुत ब्यूरोक्रेटिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल कल्चर था. In the 60s, 70s and 80s, they were very profitable because in that time, a bureaucratic organizational culture was viable, it was suitable to the organizational requirements. But as times they started to change, as things they started to move on, they started to lose profits because their culture was stuck in the past. So they reinvented themselves in the late 90s, and in 2002 the organization was completely reinvented, and their organizational strategy that was completely shifted from the strategy of 80s and 90s to the strategy post-millennium. इस strategy के अंदर जो change वो लेकर आए, वो ये लेकर आए कि the customer is the most important part of the organization. Customer is the most important reason for the organization to exist. So, you know कि bureaucratic or traditional structure में customer is not in the center of, is not the focus of all the organizational functions. It is something that is outside the organization. Whereas in today's perspective, the customer is the reason why an organization exists. So this is the change that they brought into the organizational strategy, and that affected all the other functions of the organization, in that they realized that all the members, all the parts of the organization, all the sections of the organization, they need to work together integratedly to serve the customer. So because the customer needs are changing rapidly and continuously, what they have realized is that training cannot be a fixed event that can be predicted 1 year ahead or 2 years ahead, and that can be implemented, because the customer needs, they are going to change in that time. So training and learning has to be a continuous and a flexible event, a flexible activity. So what they have emphasized is that learning should take place on work. It should take place on the location that is based on client's needs. And formal training, it should also take place, but it should not be the only way of making employees learn. So their learning teams, what they do is that they analyze jobs, they analyze roles, and they develop learning material that is required to play those roles or to fulfill those jobs. And what they have done, their learning teams, so they have defined around 500 roles, and the expertise that is required to fulfill that role or fulfill that job, they have organized it, and they have defined those roles. And then they have developed learning activities that are embedded in fulfilling those jobs. So when a person is working on that job, on his or her job, they are exposed to these different learning opportunities that they can undertake on their job, and they are able to learn through these learning activities that they do over their job. So this concept is called work-embedded learning or work-embedded training. It is not that a person learns through working on the job. वो एक और ट्रेनिंग की टाइप है कि आप काम करना सीखें, एक्सपीरियंस करें, प्रैक्टिस करें, तो आपको काम करना खुद ही आ जाता है. सो वो ऑन द जॉब ट्रेनिंग का एक और कॉन्सेप्ट है कि आप जॉब करते हुए खुद ही ट्रेन हो जाते हैं. दिस इज वर्क एम्बेडेड ट्रेनिंग, दैट within your role, within your job, you are given those learning opportunities in which you are able to learn, and this is called work embedded training. This is called work embedded learning, which is embedded into the work. That while you are performing your job, you actually work on those learning opportunities. So in this, the employees, they work through the computer. They can connect to experts through the computer. They can participate in an online community. There is an online community of that organization in which people come up with different problems, and their peers and colleagues and any person of the organization that can give them answers to any problem that they are facing. So they can connect to experts as well through their computer, through the device that they have within their offices. They don't have to go anywhere for a formal training session. They are given this opportunity to learn about anything from within the roles, the jobs that they are doing. And they can also complete an online training or learning module as well. So whenever they feel that they require to gain learning about some particular skill, they can access the learning module through online resources, and they can go for self-learning. So by giving these opportunities, this work-embedded learning, and identifying these all the roles that are being performed in the organization, by investing this, what has happened is that employees, they spend 32% more time in learning activities than they used to do previously. But this does not come without any cost. This does not come in free. The people who are spending 32% more time on learning and training activities, they are doing it because they are provided with the infrastructure, they are provided with the facilities. So how much has the organization committed for these learning and training activities? they have committed $700 million to facilitate this process of learning, to facilitate this process of training and development. But this also gives them back in return. That leads to more employee productivity, that leads to more employee engagement, and that leads to, obviously, from more employee productivity, the organization becomes more effective. So, from this example, you can see that the strategy of an organization, it influences how an organization, it allocates resources towards the training and development goals of an organization. So, what does the strategy of an organization influence within the training and development function? There are various effects of the strategy of an organization on the training and development function. So, the first thing that is influenced by the organizational strategy is the amount of training that is devoted to current or future job skills. Whether you want to enhance or improve the current job skills, or you want to invest in your employees that they are able to satisfy the requirements of future job skills that will be required after some time. So whether you want short-term results, or whether you are focused on short-term goals, or whether you are focused on long-term goals, that the future needs, you want to develop them as well. The second influence is on the extent to which training is customized for a particular need of an employee or is developed based on the needs of a team, unit, or division. So that means that your strategy will determine whether you need to develop or whether you need to train specific individuals, or you need to develop or you need to give training to specific team or a specific unit, whether you want to give training to the marketing unit, or you want to give training to the human resource unit or the production unit, or a particular division of the organization. For example, if an organization is a corporation and the organization has A, B, C, and D different products, so you want to give training to a particular division of the organization that is serving the product line number A. So that is determined through the strategy of the organization. अगर आप product A में ज़्यादा invest कर रहे हैं और C को आप ख़त्म करना चाह रहे हैं, तो आप product A के employees के ऊपर ज़्यादा training और development का expenditure करेंगे. Whereas अगर आप product C को जो है वो withdraw कर रहे हैं market से और आप उसको ख़त्म करना चाह रहे हैं, तो आप उसमें training और development का expenditure बहुत ज़्यादा allocation नहीं करेंगे. So your organizational strategy, business strategy, that determines which people, whether individuals need to be trained or whether specific units or organizational divisions have to be trained. Then whether training is going to be restricted to specific group of people or whether that is going to be provided to all organizational members. So आपका जो training management system है या आपका जो ऑनलाइन ट्रेनिंग का सिस्टम है या आप जो ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स रन कर रहे हैं वो सिर्फ मैनेजर्स के लिए हैं, वो सिर्फ टॉप मैनेजर्स के लिए हैं, या वो आपके कोर एम्प्लॉयज के लिए भी हैं, आप ट्रेनिंग सब लोगों को देते हैं या आप एक पर्टिकुलर ग्रुप जो है उस तक रिस्ट्रिक्टेड रखते हैं अपने ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स को और अपनी ट्रेनिंग एक्टिविटीज को. द नेक्स्ट थिंग दैट इज इन्फ्लुएंस्ड by your organizational strategy is that whether training is planned and systematically administered, provided only when problems occur, and developed spontaneously as a reaction to what competitors are doing. So या तो आपका जो training and development system है वो बहुत structured है, बहुत planned है. Obviously अगर वो structured और planned होगा, that would require more investment. You would need people to do the development, to do the planning. So you would need more people, more time, more effort, and definitely more cost to conduct a systematically and to conduct a structured training program or structured training and development activities. And on the other hand, your strategy would influence whether you arrange your training function spontaneously or haphazardly, or if that is required to be done because you have seen that the competitors are also doing that. सो आपको ये पता चलता है कि आपके कंपेटिटर्स जो हैं वो आपके अपने एम्प्लॉयज को ये वाली ट्रेनिंग दे रहे हैं, वो उनको सारे सिस्टम्स को कंप्यूटराइज कर रहे हैं, तो अब हमने भी करना है क्योंकि कंपेटिटर्स कर रहे हैं. ये एक रिएक्टिव अप्रोच है. वेयर एज अगर आप सिस्टमैटिकली चलें तो ये बात आप कंपेटिटर्स से पहले भी आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते थे. आपके कंपेटिटर्स ने अभी आइडेंटिफाई नहीं किया होता, आप पहले आइडेंटिफाई कर लेते कि अब सिस्टम्स को सबको ऑनलाइन करने की जरूरत है और लोगों को इसमें ट्रेनिंग देने की जरूरत है. सो यू प्रॉब्ली वुड हैव डन बिफोर योर कंपेटिटर्स हैव डन दैट. So your business strategy that determines whether your training and development function that is structured or it is done in a haphazard or a spontaneous manner. Then finally, your business strategy, it influences how much importance is given to your training and development function in comparison with other functions of your human resource. Because all the human resource functions, for example, recruitment and selection, or performance management or compensation, all of these they require resources. So whether you want to invest in training and development and pay less to your employees, or you want to compensate maximum to your employees and restrict their training and development budgets. So that is going to be determined by the strategy of your organization. अगर आप अपने एम्प्लॉयज को अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर कमिटेड रखना चाहते हैं, अगर आप उनको विद इन योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस डेवलप करना चाहते हैं, अगर आप अपनी प्रमोशंस और ट्रांसफर्स इंटरनल लेबर मार्केट के थ्रू करते हैं, तो फिर आप ज़्यादा एलोकेट करेंगे ट्रेनिंग और डेवलपमेंट फंक्शन के लिए, बिकॉज यू वांट पीपल टू स्टिक अराउंड, यू वांट पीपल टू स्टे विद इन योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. Whereas if your business strategy is that you take in the best lot from outside, आप जो बाहर स्टार परफॉर्मर्स हैं उनको अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में लेकर आते हैं, उनको बेस्ट कॉम्पेंसेशन देते हैं, उनकी बेस्ट स्किल्स और एबिलिटीज को यूटिलाइज करते हैं और उनको कॉम्पेंसेट करते हैं, तो फिर आप अपनी ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट बजट्स को रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर देंगे. सो आपकी बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी जो है कि आप अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में बाकी ह्यूमन रिसोर्स प्लानिंग जो है, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स स्ट्रैटेजीज जो हैं, वो किस तरह इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं, उसके हिसाब से आपकी ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट फंक्शन को एलोकेशन मिलेगी रिसोर्सेज की. सो योर बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी इन्फ्लुएंसेस ऑल दीज पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट्स, that whether you want to train your employees for current skills or future skills, or whether you want to train your employees in a particular unit or a group or a division, or whether you want to restrict training to a particular group, or you want to provide it to all your employees, and whether training is going to be structured, and whether and what influence or what importance does training and development function have in relation to other functions of the human resource management. So we had discussed in the previous session that organizations, they can use training and development to build a competitive advantage for their organizations. But in order to do so, in order to develop a competitive advantage from the training and development function, they need to develop beyond the basic skills of the employees. So they need to build the basic skills as well as the advanced skills and take them to the level of self-motivated creativity. So in order to do so, they need to build the knowledge pool of their organizational members. Because the more knowledge they will have, the more information they will have, the more they will be able to process that information more effectively. So knowledge जो है वो organizations में दो तरह का होता है. One is the explicit knowledge and the other one is the tacit knowledge. Explicit knowledge is the knowledge that can be codified, formalized and communicated. So the knowledge that can be written down in a book or in a manual, that is explicit knowledge. The rules and policies of your organization, that is explicit knowledge. And the other type of knowledge is tacit knowledge. all kinds of knowledge cannot be written down, that cannot be codified, that cannot be communicated. So you cannot communicate the organizational culture of your organization. You cannot communicate what it is. A person needs to come into your organization to actually feel that organizational culture. So there are many things that can only be learned through observation, that can only be found through observation. So how things are done in the organization, what are the underlying dynamics of the organization, how to communicate with the people of this organization, how to get things done from these people, ये सब चीजें जो हैं ये tacit knowledge होता है. So what the organizations need to do is to develop the explicit knowledge as well as the tacit knowledge of the employees in order to make them work effectively. So explicit knowledge can be communicated through codifying it. Explicit knowledge can be communicated by giving a formal training session. But the difficult thing is to transfer the tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is something that cannot be transferred through a formal training session. You cannot tell people the tacit knowledge of your organization. So you cannot give a lecture about that. You cannot write it down somewhere that people can read it. This is something that needs to be learned through informal training or through informal learning. But this tacit knowledge is the connective tissue between the explicit knowledge that is there in the organization. So explicit knowledge के बीच में जो connections बनते हैं वो tacit knowledge के through बनते हैं. So that is why people need to learn the tacit knowledge as well. So tacit knowledge learn करने के लिए training has to shift or it has to evolve from a training event to a continuous learning system. So the role of training in today's organization is evolving because of this reason that employees need to be given the explicit as well as tacit knowledge. Training is evolving from the focus of it being on a training event to the focus of it into a learning system. So training is evolving from a traditional training approach to a more adaptive training approach. Before we can say what is the adaptive training approach, we need to see what is the traditional training approach, what are the features of traditional training approach. So in traditional training approach to training, training is seen as a series of programs or events that the employees attend. So जो traditional approach है training की, उसमें ट्रेनिंग को एक इवेंट समझा जाता है, एक प्रोग्राम समझा जाता है जो कि एम्प्लॉयज ने अटेंड करना है. सो पहला ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम ट्रेनिंग का उन्होंने अटेंड करना है, उसके बाद जब उनको 1 साल हो जाए ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में तो उसके बाद उन्होंने एक और ट्रेनिंग सेशन अटेंड करना है, फिर अगर उन्होंने प्रमोट हो गए हैं तो फिर एक और ट्रेनिंग सेशन अटेंड करना है. सो इट इज अ सीरीज ऑफ ट्रेनिंग इवेंट्स दैट दे आर गोइंग टू अटेंड. That is the traditional training approach, that training is seen as training events being held that the employees they attend. The second feature of this traditional training approach is that employees are responsible to implement the learning that has happened to apply it in their work life. They are responsible to implement that learning. Nobody is going to help them, nobody is going to support them. It is not the responsibility of the organization that whatever has been given to them in a training session, whatever they have learned in a training session, it is not the responsibility of the organization that they actually go and implement that in their work life. They will do it themselves. So it was considered that they will do it themselves. So organization did not take the responsibility of actually transferring the training to the actual work life. They may or may not get the support of their immediate supervisor or colleagues. So that is not embedded into the culture of the organization in a traditional training approach. Support after the training is not embedded into the culture of the organization. अगर किसी ने हेल्प करनी हो, अगर किसी ने सपोर्ट देनी हो, अगर बॉस अच्छा है, सपोर्टिव है, उसकी पर्सनालिटी में सपोर्टिवनेस है, तो हो सकता है वो थोड़ी सी सपोर्ट दे दे. ये उसकी मर्जी है, ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का कल्चर नहीं है. और कॉलीग्स आपके पीयर्स जो हैं, उनसे भी अगर आप जाके फॉर एग्जांपल ये बात करें कि जी मुझे ये मसला आ रहा है, ये काम मैं नहीं कर सकता, ये मैं इसको सेशन अटेंड करके आया हूं, अब मेरे से एक्चुअली इसको इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हो रहा, कि आप मेरी थोड़ी सी हेल्प कर देंगे. तो वो अगर आपके उनके साथ वैसे ताल्लुकात अच्छे हैं, वो आपके साथ वैसे उठते बैठते हैं, तो शायद वो आपकी हेल्प कर दें. लेकिन ये एक कल्चर की फीचर नहीं है. सो इट इज नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल कल्चर कि आप किसी भी अपने कॉलीग के पास जाएं तो आपका कॉलीग जो है वो आपको आपके काम में हेल्प कर दे. सो in a traditional training approach, it is not, the learning environment is not developed. And the final feature of the traditional training approach is that employees are not helped to see the link between training and organizational performance and their own individual performance. उनको ये नहीं बताया जाता, ये emphasize नहीं किया जाता कि ये जो ट्रेनिंग उनको करवाई जा रही है, जो एक्सरसाइज उनको करवाई जा रही है, ये उनकी इंडिविजुअल परफॉर्मेंस को किस तरह से इंप्रूव करेगी और ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल परफॉर्मेंस पे इसका क्या इफेक्ट होगा. सो दे आर नॉट मेड टू रियलाइज हाउ इट इज गोइंग टू अफेक्ट देयर परफॉर्मेंस एंड हाउ इट सर्व्स द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल बिजनेस एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्ट्रैटेजी. सो दैट आर द फीचर्स ऑफ अ ट्रेडिशनल training approach. That training is only held as an event. It is seen as an event. Once done, it is done. Finished. Let's move on. But the more adaptive or the more learning training approach, that includes learning as a continuous event. So it takes into account what employees they need to learn before the training session and what they need after the training session, and how to integrate the training with the overall functioning of the organization. So training is not seen as only training or as a training program or an event. It is seen as something that contributes to the overall learning experience of a person in an organization. So basically, it is the learning that we are concerned about. Training is something that facilitates that. Training is not itself seen as the focal thing. The focus is on learning. Training is something that contributes to that. So learning is something that is on the emphasis. So when you put more emphasis on learning and not just training, and training is only seen as a facilitator, what are the implications of emphasis on learning? जब आप learning पे ज़्यादा emphasis करते हैं, जब आप learning को focal point रखते हैं, तो उसका क्या मतलब है? The first implication of that is that learning has to be related to help improving employees' performance and achieving business goals. That your overall learning experience or your learning program, that should help employees improve their performance. If the learning is not helping them improve their performance and the overall business effectiveness, then that learning is useless for the organization. So learning has to be linked with the business strategy or the reason of the organization's existence. The second implication of this is that unpredictability in the business environment will continue to be a norm. So learning needs to occur on an as-need basis. So learning has to be on an as-need basis, because business situation, business environment is going to remain unpredictable. That is going to be a norm. अब ऐसा ही रहेगा. So आप ट्रेनिंग को एक या लर्निंग को एक बहुत प्रिडिक्टेबल इवेंट नहीं बना सकते कि आज से 6 महीने के बाद इन एम्प्लॉयज को इस लर्निंग एक्टिविटी की जरूरत होगी और आज से 6 साल के बाद उनको इस लर्निंग एक्टिविटी की जरूरत होगी, और जब एम्प्लॉयज आपके पास आएंगे तो उनको इस लर्निंग एक्टिविटी की जरूरत होगी. this keeps on changing. The requirements, because of the unpredictability in the business situation, this needs to keep changing. So learning has to happen on an as-needed basis. The third thing is that because tacit knowledge cannot be acquired in a classroom, therefore there has to be an emphasis on informal learning that is provided through mentoring, chat rooms, or job experience. So there has to be a support and provision of informal learning that takes place in the organization. And finally, that learning has to be supported not only with physical and technical resources, but also psychologically. तो आपको अपने employees को सिर्फ physical या financial resources से support नहीं करना, आपने learning को physical या financial resources से support नहीं करना, क्योंकि learning एक psychological experience भी होता है, which is a change in attitudes, which is a change in motivations. Therefore, you also need to provide that psychological support to your employees as well, so that they are ready to learn. So you need to provide that learning culture, that learning environment in which people they exchange ideas, in which people they share information, in which people are more open to communicate. That is the only way through which learning will take place. If people will restrict information, if people will not share knowledge, in that case there will be you will not be able to develop a learning culture, and therefore learning will not happen, because the psychological resources, the psychological safety for the process of learning will not be available to the employees. So it is very important to develop the psychological resources of the employees for learning to take place, in addition to giving them the financial and physical resources. So we were discussing that an organization's training and development activities, they need to be related to the strategy of the organization. So that means that there has to be a strategic training and development process, because you've got to create those links between the function of your training and development, the training and development activities, and the strategy of your organization. So there has to be a process. A process has to take place in order to achieve this objective of linking your strategy with your training and development. So if you can see on the slide, this is a 4-step process in which the process initiates from the business strategy. Then you develop from your business strategy, you develop your strategic training and development initiatives. From your strategic training and development initiatives, your training and development activities, they evolve or they are developed. And the last step of the process is that you develop the metrics that show the value of training. So you start from your business strategy and it ends into evaluating your training and development activities. So let's discuss each of them separately. Your business strategy is your mission, your vision, and the values of your organization. It is defined or it is depicted from the vision of your organization, from the mission of the organization, and from the values of the organization. The values that an organization holds. What does it value? Whether they value their customers, whether they value their employees, whether they value all their stakeholders. What are the values of the organization? So that it feeds into the strategic training and development initiatives. So according to your strategy, you develop your initiatives. So if you are an organization, अगर आपकी strategy ये है कि आपने customers को, you are going to provide them the best service in the industry, so that would lead to a strategic training and development initiative that provides training for customer support, that improves customer service. So that is a training and development initiative that needs to be taken in order to serve the value that customers, that you are going to provide the best customer service in your industry. Similarly, there can be other training and development initiatives that emerge out of your business strategy. For example, you would like to increase or you would like to expand your learning portfolio. By expanding your learning portfolio, what does that mean? You want to include different modes of learning in your training and development activities. So you may like to include online training, or you may like to include more people, more types of people in your training and development activities. So you may like to give training not only to your employees, but also to your customers or also to your suppliers. So for example, if you are getting supplies from a particular industry, from a particular company, and you want a certain type of product from that supplier, and they do not have the skills and abilities to develop that kind of product themselves. So what will you do is that you will go into their organization and help them develop those abilities that will help them develop that product that you need in your organization as a supplier. जैसे अगर आपकी एक क्लोथिंग की फैक्ट्री है जिसमें आप जो है वो अपैरल डेवलप करते हैं, बनाते हैं, तो आपको उसके लिए एक सर्टेन टाइप ऑफ फैब्रिक चाहिए. तो फैब्रिक तो आप नहीं बना रहे अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, आप फैब्रिक अपने सप्लायर से ले रहे हैं. अब अगर आपके सप्लायर्स को वो फैब्रिक नहीं बनाना आता या उस फैब्रिक के डिफरेंट वेरिएशंस के बारे में उनको नॉलेज नहीं है जो कि स्पेसिफिकेशंस आपको चाहिए, तो आप अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से लोगों को भेजेंगे उनके पास कि आप उनको ट्रेन करें कि उनकी प्रोडक्ट की जो वेरिएशंस हैं वो कौन कौन सी हैं और उन वेरिएशंस को किस तरह से डेवलप किया जा सकता है. और फिर जब उनके पास ये नॉलेज और ये स्किल आ जाएगी तो फिर वो आपको आपके रिक्वायरमेंट के मुताबिक प्रोडक्ट सप्लाई कर सकेंगे. सो अगर ये आपकी बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी में है कि आपने अपने सप्लायर्स को भी ट्रेन करना है, तो फिर आपको अपना लर्निंग पोर्टफोलियो जो है वो इम्प्रूव करना पड़ेगा, एक्सपैंड करना पड़ेगा. सो इसी तरह आप डिफरेंट अपने स्ट्रेटेजिक ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट इनिशिएटिव्स जो हैं वो फॉर्मुलेट करते हैं और फिर उन इनिशिएटिव्स से आप अपनी ट्रेनिंग और डेवलपमेंट एक्टिविटीज जो हैं वो डेवलप करते हैं. सो अगर आपने अपना लर्निंग पोर्टफोलियो इंक्रीज करना है और आपने अपने लर्निंग एक्टिविटीज को एनहांस करना है, तो उसमें आप ये आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं कि अभी सिर्फ फॉर्मल ट्रेनिंग है, हमने अभी सिर्फ ट्रेडिशनल ट्रेनिंग है, क्लासरूम ट्रेनिंग है, वी वांट टू इंक्लूड वेब बेस्ड ट्रेनिंग एज वेल. तो फिर आप प्रोविजंस जो हैं वो क्रिएट करेंगे कि आप वेब बेस्ड ट्रेनिंग भी प्रोवाइड करें, ऑनलाइन ट्रेनिंग भी प्रोवाइड करें. उसके अलावा आप और बहुत सी एक्टिविटीज जो हैं उनको अपनी ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट पोर्टफोलियो के अंदर इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं. और फाइनली जो है फिर आप अपनी एक्टिविटीज को मेजर करेंगे, उनके लिए मैट्रिक्स डेवलप करेंगे कि ये कैसे पता चले कि ट्रेनिंग एक्टिविटीज और डेवलपमेंट एक्टिविटीज जो हैं उनका कोई फायदा हुआ है, उनके कोई रिजल्ट्स निकले हैं. सो किस चीज से पता चलेगा कि आपकी ट्रेनिंग का कोई फायदा हुआ है? पहली चीज तो ये कि लर्निंग हुई है, लोगों का एटीट्यूड चेंज हुआ है. दूसरी चीज ये कि परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव हुई है. उसके अलावा कस्टमर कंप्लेंट्स अगर रिड्यूस हुए हैं तो उससे भी पता चलेगा कि कोई ट्रेनिंग का इफेक्ट हुआ है. अगर टर्नओवर रिड्यूस हुआ है, आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एम्प्लॉयज जो हैं वो छोड़ के जा रहे थे, अब उन्होंने छोड़ के जाना छोड़ दिया है, बंद कर दिया है, टर्नओवर रिड्यूस हो गया है, तो इसका भी ये मतलब है कि कोई उसका इफेक्ट हुआ है. और उसके अलावा अगर आप एम्प्लॉयज की सेटिस्फैक्शन इंप्रूव की है, तो ये डिफरेंट मेट्रिक्स हैं, डिफरेंट एवेल्युएटर्स हैं जिसके थ्रू आप ये अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं कि आपकी ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट एक्टिविटीज का जो है वो क्या फायदा हुआ है, क्या उसका रिजल्ट निकला है. सो इस प्रोसेस को जो है वो हम एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, वेरी वेल नोन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, आपने नाम सुना ही होगा नोकिया का, उसकी हम एनालिसिस करेंगे दैट हाउ डू दे डेवलप देयर स्ट्रेटेजिक ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट प्रोसेस. So what is the strategy and values of Nokia organization? They call their strategy, or they call the way they work in their organization, the Nokia way. And the Nokia way, the values that they uphold is, first of all, is engaging you. The second one is achieving together. The third one is passion for innovation. and the fourth one is very human. So the values that they uphold in their organization is that they want to engage you. That means that they want to engage their employees, the members, and also the customers. And they want to achieve together. So the achievement they want to achieve together, which means that the customers should be able to achieve the objectives. Nokia के products जो हैं वो किस चीज के लिए use होते हैं? Communication के लिए. तो अगर customers जो हैं वो communicate करना चाह रहे हैं तो वो अपनी communication requirements को achieve कर सकें, और that helps to achieve the organizational objectives of Nokia. So achieving together, that because customers achieve, the organization achieves as well. And the third thing the value is that there is a passion for creativity. They want to keep innovating. They want to keep improving. So there is a passion for creativity in the organization. And the fourth thing is that it is very human, that they realize that the organizational members and the customers, they are human beings and they are not machines. They need to be treated in a human way. So from this organizational strategy and values, it comes up that the strategic training and development initiative that is required to fulfill this strategy, that is continuous learning. That the organization needs to learn continuously. And continuous learning, how can be it translated into training and development activities? What they do is that in their organization, they appoint godfathers in their organizational units that design the training programs, as well as they provide informal support to the organizational members as well to design the training programs. And these training programs, they are designed in the way of strategic projects. So employees, they work on these strategic projects and learn through working on these strategic projects. So that means that action learning takes place. The second thing is that employees develop their own developmental plans. So learning approach is not top down, that people are made to learn something. The employees, they take the decision whether they are going to require this kind of training or this kind of learning activity or not. So the employees, they take the ownership of participation in a particular learning activity. Then the manager, that involves itself in the training activity itself. So the manager is not distant from the learning activity. The manager, it involves itself into the learning activity. And finally, their performance management program, that is also geared towards learning. How that is geared towards learning? Because their performance management program, which is called Investing in People, IIP, that is an activity that happens twice a year. And in that, the employee and the boss or the supervisor, they participate together. ऐसा नहीं होता कि supervisor जो है या boss जो है वो आपकी report लिख के आगे forward कर दे. जो सुपरवाइजर है और जो एम्प्लॉय है वो इकट्ठे मिलके बैठते हैं 2 दफा साल में, और क्या एनालाइज करते हैं कि उस 6 महीने के अंदर एम्प्लॉय ने क्या अचीव किया, क्या अचीव नहीं कर सका और क्या अचीव करना चाहिए था. वो ये भी देखते हैं कि अगले 6 महीने में क्या अचीव करना चाहिए और कौन सी लर्निंग एक्टिविटीज ऐसी हैं जो कि ये अचीवमेंट पॉसिबल बना सकती हैं. और फाइनली इवैल्यूएशन कैसे होती है? एक तो ये कि उनके किसी भी लर्निंग इनिशिएटिव के बाद, किसी भी लर्निंग एक्टिविटी के बाद एम्प्लॉयज रिएक्शन जो हैं वो नोट किए जाते हैं. एम्प्लॉयज से पूछा जाता है कि व्हाट डू दे फील अबाउट दैट. एंड द सेकंड थिंग इज दैट हाउ द कॉम्पिटेंस हैज इम्प्रूव्ड or how a person has been able to achieve a certain competence, that is also assessed. So this is how at Nokia the strategic training and development process that takes place. So in this lecture we have discussed that what is the link of an organizational strategy to its training and development initiatives. We have discussed how the training role has evolved, and we have also discussed the strategic training and development process. Until next time, Allah Hafiz.